Yeah, my worship voice. This always happens. My voice always wants to quit right when I get up here. Good morning. Merry Christmas. It's always a joy to be able to fill this role. Usually in worship, I'm leading sort of a train of children around, and I get to worship, but not as deeply and quietly as I get to do it when I'm in this role. And so this is really sacred time for me to be able to be a little quieter and reflect more deeply in thought. I feel so blessed to have this time with you as a community of faith. It's been one of the joys this season as I have been giving thanks to God. Constantly, I am thankful for this community, for the special times we get to share. And one of my children said to me the other day, Mom, I'm glad we're church people. Just out of the blue. Not that it would be bad to not be, but they were recognizing that gift of these special times that we come and we listen deeply and we come before God. And so Merry Christmas. You are a gift. You are a gift to our family. Sorry. On this first Sunday after Christmas Day, all of our preparations are over. You may have already started to take down decorations. I threw my Christmas tree out the back door. It toppled over. We're planning to burn it in a bonfire for New Year's. And if you're like me, then the bottom of your fudge tin might be very visible. There's not very many pieces of fudge left. We've turned off the Christmas music, right? All of those preparations, that month of preparation is over now. But on this first Sunday after, for the church, the season of Christmas has not ended, but it has truly just begun. Would someone get me a water? Mary, would you do that? It's just in my throat. Sorry. A lozenge. A lozenge would be good. Look at the gifts of the church. I woke up yesterday with a cold. All right. Just take a minute. There's my dad. Oh, that's much better. You know, that is really indicative of how my whole Christmas season has gone. I've made all these really good plans, and then there has been chaos. and a tiny bit of yelling in my house, which is probably normal with 3 small children. There's been a lot of, get away from the table. Everyone's coming in an hour, and I told you to play upstairs. And my children have looked at me with very big, wide, horror-filled eyes, wondering who has come to live with them. But hosting Christmas is not an easy thing when you have small children. And so I have to say, yesterday when I chucked the tree out the back door, it actually just kind of fell off the back step into the yard, and the wind was blowing, and I had no motivation to try and remedy that situation. I kind of did that with a sense of joy. It kind of felt good to chuck the tree out and sweep up the pine needles and feel like we had some semblance of order again. But when I read the scripture, well, actually, I changed the scripture for this morning, so I'll apologize to Brandon later about that. He had in there when Jesus is 12, and my heart just could not get ready for Jesus to be 12 yet. Christmas was on Tuesday. It's been like 5 days. I really needed Jesus to still be a baby, so I went back a story, which is also a lot like parenting. I'm not ever ready for that next leap. But I was reading that story about these faithful servants whose only wish was to see the Messiah, and who waited and waited and waited and just would not give up hope. And it moved me in a way, and so I wanted to share that with you today. Because even though the day of Christmas, of our celebration, has ended, as a church, Christmas is every day. It's a gift that God gives us every day in community, in small acts of love, in moments when we really see God in the world. It's a way of living and an invitation to live every day in expectation of God with us, to look at the world expecting, not even just hoping, but expecting that we will see God when we look out the door. That is what it means, God with us, Emmanuel. Henry David Thoreau said, "We must learn to reawaken and to keep ourselves awake by an infinite expectation of the dawn." We must learn to reawaken and to keep ourselves awake by an infinite expectation of the dawn. There are all kinds of expectations in our world. We feel them on us. Some of those are not so helpful, right? We have expectations of others that may be realistic or unrealistic. But he's talking about a different kind of expectation, an expectation of the dawn. That in every situation, we would expect good to come out of it. Simeon was quite old, but he had heard from God that he would see the face of God come close to them, that he would see the one who would bring salvation to Israel before he died. There were probably many who thought that was a pipe dream. He was aging. There was no way he was going to see this happen. But Simeon believed it with every fiber of his being. And on this day, he went into the temple. And when he saw Mary and Joseph carry in that tiny baby, his whole body exploded with light. The light of God had walked into his temple. And so he picked up that baby, and he blessed God, and he told everyone, this is the one we've been waiting for. Now I can go in peace. I wonder what it would be like to live with that kind of expectation of goodness. To live with that desire to see the face of God so deeply that we would wait in the temple day after day after day, knowing that there is no way God could fail us, that the face of God would come before us and come close to where we are. Infinite expectation of the dawn is not blind optimism, and it's not ignorance of the desperate need or the desperate injustice in our world. Infinite expectation of the dawn is Christmas. It's God's action on our behalf. God knew that we thought we were unreachable. We were so far away from God. We were so broken. We were so desperate. And we didn't think we could ever come close to God. We couldn't even make a step in the right direction. And so God did the unthinkable. God looked at us and had an infinite expectation of light in us, in humanity. And God came down so close. I tell the kids, he became so little that God actually needed us to take care of him. And that's a miracle and a mystery. That God has that infinite expectation that we could hold God gently and that we could raise him up and learn to bring God closer. But this is what God is like. It's all of those gifts of Christmas: hope sustained, peace maintained as we love others in the light of God's presence, joy celebrated as we see God's action in us, love expressed as we allow God to shine in and through our worlds. Several years ago, the story that really came to my mind was I was in a hospital chaplaincy rotation, and I got called to a room where a person was dying from a chronic illness, and their family was around them, and they called for a chaplain to come wait and pray with them. It turned out that actually is one of my favorite places to serve. I think hospice chaplaincy is incredible. And so I went into this room not knowing what to expect, and there was a mother with grown children, and the two of them were there and one was on the way, and so we were waiting and hoping that this child named Dawn would arrive. And around the bed, this is why it's like Christmas, was the woman's ex-husband and ex-boyfriend, and they were sort of in a competition to see which one of them would do a better job helping her die. So if the ex-husband offered some ice chips, the ex-boyfriend would argue and say she doesn't like the cubed ones, she likes the crushed ones from the machine in the hall. And if the ex-boyfriend straightened the blanket, then the ex-husband would take the blanket off and claim that she was too warm and to stop meddling with her. It was not very peaceful. There was just a lot of sort of tug of war over the bed. And the children and me were waiting and praying. And the mom said, I'm waiting for Dawn to come. And I said, that's great. But secretly, I was watching the machines and watching the signs and thinking, we don't have very much time. And the men tug-of-warred, and her breathing got slower. And the children started crying, and the men argued, and her breathing got slower. And I prayed to God. I said, if the daughter doesn't come, I pray that you will give her what she needs. And I think 2 or 3 hours passed in this way, arguing and crying and waiting, and her breathing slowing, until I didn't think she had any more in her. And then the door cracked open, and a miracle happened, because the nurse came in and said that she needed the ex-husband and the ex-boyfriend to leave the room and to go fill out some paperwork. And as much as I love them, it was a miracle in its own right. So they both left in the same moment. They went down the hall, and I took a deep breath, and the 2 children took a deep breath. And we checked to make sure she was still there. She let out one ragged breath. And I was about to pray because I knew this was the end. And the door creaked open again, and a young woman in a military uniform peeked through. And before anybody else could speak, the mother, lying in her bed, said, "Hello, Dawn. I love you." And the daughter came in, and we made a circle and sang, and it was moments later that she breathed her last. And I was thinking about, I'm going to cry, the prophet Simeon, who's just waiting to see the dawn. And I see him in that mother who's waiting to see her daughter. And the mystery of Christmas is that is what God is like for us. He's both the mother waiting on us beyond all strength, waiting for us to come in because we are so beloved to him. And he is the daughter who is racing to the bedside, racing to be with us in our moment of need. And I think for me, that is the expectation of the infinite dawn, that we know that God is going to come through that door, even if we don't think we're going to make it. And so that is why today and every day, I wish you a Merry Christmas. May God come so close to you that you can hold him in your arms. This is the word of the Lord today.